Unless they're unflexible, they don't give me out of shape. That's my favorite beatitude.
I can still read names.
I added that one.
The time is now 6 o'clock and the June 9th, 2026 Kingsport City Schools Board of Education regular business meeting is now called to order. We have several recognitions tonight, but before we get started with those, I think Dr. True wants to introduce a special guest for us.
I do, Dr. Fletcher. Thank you. And welcome everyone in the room with us this evening. And also, if you're watching us online, we're glad you're with us for our board meeting tonight. I do want to introduce and bring up a new friend for me, Kristopher Feldmann. Christopher, how you doing, buddy? You excited? We were talking, this will be interesting. So you are getting ready, you're having a big summer because you're getting ready to go to a new school next year, aren't you? What grade will you be in next year?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten. So we have a rising kindergartner, Kristopher, and we were saying you're hoping to go to what school next year?
Yeah.
Which school were you telling me?
Palmer.
You were at Palmer, but you're thinking about going to
Kennedy.
Kennedy. So we have an aspiring coyote with us tonight. So, Kristopher, we're really excited and glad you're here to lead the pledge. You want to help me ask everybody if you would please stand? So please stand.
Please stand.
Okay, and the flag is right over here. Hold the mic. Okay, you ready? Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic in which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
I will now ask for a motion to accept the agenda, which includes the consent agenda. Once the agenda has been accepted, the board mutually agrees not to discuss any item of business or take any action that has not been accepted for this agenda. Is there a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Oh.
All right, all those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
No.
I'm going to just make it.
Oh, not nay.
I mean, no, there's not. I'm tired, people.
I said the same thing. All righty. Ms. Woods, you want to start us off?
Well, it is my honor to recognize 3 students from DBXL, and I'm going to ask them if they would go ahead and come up here. Riley Cody, Aiden Shaver, and Gabe Williams. We are so, just stand right up there and face them. We'll get to embarrass you just a little bit while we recognize you. We are recognizing them for being the Tennessee STEM Innovation Network 2026 Statewide Design Challenge high school level winners. They earned this award for their prototype and solution entitled Filter Away, the Lucille Way. Teams had the flexibility to choose a specific environmental issue and determine the approach that best addresses it. Students researched, identified a problem, conducted a root cause analysis, defined the target audience or stakeholder group who will benefit from the solution, and developed a prototype of the solution using a variety of media. This year, the Tennessee STEM Innovation Network partnered with the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. This agency's mission is to preserve, conserve, manage, protect, and enhance the fish and wildlife of Tennessee and their habitats for the use, benefit, and enjoyment of citizens and visitors. Students were tasked with developing an innovative, sustainable solution to protect, restore, enhance, or maintain a terrestrial ecosystem in Tennessee. So I wonder what the Lucille Way really is. So I looked it up, and I'm going to share it with you because it is extremely impressive. The Lucille process incorporates a remote-controlled robotic filtration system designed to remove pollutants from waterways. The process and prototype focuses on 4 primary stages: First, remote navigation. Students engineered a small remote-controlled robotic device capable of safely maneuvering through contaminated waterways where agricultural and urban runoff collects. Secondly, the multi-layer filtration. The bot processes contaminated water using a specialized multi-tiered filtration system. Is this right so far? Okay, great. Third, the pollutant extraction. It kind of reminds me of my robo thing at home, the vacuum. Is that kind of the same process? Okay, I can understand that. Pollutant extraction. Water passes through absorbent filtration pads, activated charcoal, and zeolite to trap and extract harmful pollutants. And then finally, the ecosystem protection. The process effectively purifies the runoff water before it can spread downstream into larger rivers, lakes, and local ecosystems. The team's design process combined environmental science, sustainability, and real-world engineering to tackle a vital resource issue in Tennessee. Congratulations to Riley, Aiden, and Gabe on a job well done.
Thank you, Ms. Woods. Mr. Golden.
On May 19th through the 21st of this year, in Knoxville held the TSSAA Outdoor State Track and Field Championships, 3A, excuse me. It is the first time that both the boys and the girls is the first time in schools that both won their relays, both the boys and the girls. The girls' winning time was 9 minutes, 12 seconds, and 3/100ths of a second, shattering their own school record by 13 seconds. It was the first girls' state relay, the first girls' relay state championship in school history. The team consists of Carly Craddock, Matea Mazzilli, and I apologize if I butcher your names. I apparently cannot read today. Taisha Turner and Gigi Vinson. Taisha and Gigi finished their career as two of the most decorated runners in school history. They have both won 10 state medals and each have 3 school records. The boys team, Dixon Armstrong, Drew Emmett, Lucas Manani, and Chad Williams beat the defending state champions and pre-meet favorites, Daniel Boone, the other DB, with a combined time of 7 minutes, 46 seconds, and 63/100ths of a second. The time was the second fastest in state meet history, only surpassed by DB in 2024. The first 3 runners, Lucas, Dixon, and Drew, ran PBs and gave the baton to Chad Williams in a virtual tie with Daniel Boone. Chad ran a tactically brilliant race and outkicked Boone for the victory. It was the exclamation point for a brilliant season for him and the state and was conference champion, section champion, and state runner-up in the 800. I'd like to offer congratulations to the TSSAA AAA state champions, DB boys and girls track. Please join me up here.
Calvin, come on up here. Stand over here so everybody can see you. At this time, I'd like to recognize Dobyns-Bennett High School students, rising senior Hayden Dockery and rising sophomore Callan Burris, for being named the Unified Track and Field Boys 2026 TSSAA State Champions and All-State finishers in boys shot put. The teams are coached by Sarah Good and Michael Holt. These athletes won the boys Unified Shot Put State Championship at the TSSAA State Track and Field Championships held at the University of Tennessee's Tom Black Track in Knoxville. The tandem's gold medal performance helped the team propel Dobyns-Bennett Unified team to a fourth place state finish statewide, compiling 32 points and medaling across all 7 events. Congratulations. At this time, we'll just take just a real brief recess to allow those of you that don't want to participate in the rest of the meeting, or if you want to, you're more than welcome to. We appreciate you coming. We appreciate the effort and the involvement that you and your families have in the success of our student athletes and students. So thank you for coming. Now is the time for members of the audience to address the board as a whole. According to board policy, if registered prior to 6 p.m., we ask that you state your name and address and limit your comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. Speakers may address the board regarding topics germane to the processes and/or functions of Kingsport City Schools with an aggregate public comment period not to exceed 30 minutes, unless the board waives this time limit upon consideration of a request for an extension made prior to the President's announcement for public input. Profane and/or threatening language will not be allowed, and this is not the time to discuss personal or personnel matters, as there are more appropriate ways to address these issues. In your comments, you may not reveal any confidential student or staff information or refer to a student by name without permission from the parent or guardian. All comments are and will remain a matter of public record. Anyone wishing to speak? Nope. All right. We'll move on to the business. And Dr. Fry, Mr. Fry, sorry, Dr. Fry. The way you cut those numbers up, you might as well be a surgeon.
Honorary.
Good
Evening. Have a couple of items for you tonight. The first item is the consideration to purchase a student transportation software from Tyler Technologies. The first year cost of this will be $103,655. This is a software that Mr. Starnes and Mr. Nash have been looking at for a length of time that will help with bus routing, boundary planning, and mapping. offers automation that simplifies student assignments while maintaining district routing rules. The one of the things that this software has is I know that one of the things that Mr. Starnes and Mr. Nash like are there are several times when we have to combine routes, and you can tell it that we want to combine routes 12 and 15, and it will spit out the most efficient route for the driver to take to combine those routes. One of the enhancements on this is that it'll provide real-time tracking for buses via GPS and give parents the opportunity to look at an app to look at the estimated time of arrival for their child to be at a certain stop. It will allow our people to look and see exactly where the buses are. Now the parents won't have that detail, but they'll know that they're supposed to be at this stop at approximately 3:45. One of the things with the GPS and with the tablets that will be installed on the buses, that it will provide stop-by-stop routing and directions for those drivers. So a driver that we pull in to substitute on a particular route doesn't really need to have driven that route before. It'll give them step-by-step, turn-by-turn instructions of where to go on that route. It will also interface with our Aspen student information system and know that the students that are to ride that bus and the addresses of where they live, and that there should be a student that's going to be at this particular address at this location, and route the driver that way. So they are really excited about this. It will, obviously, when we look at zoning in a few years, it will greatly assist with the zoning. So we're recommending that that the board approve the purchase of this. Funding has been identified in the current year budget, and we've identified some funding in next year's budget. We'll be utilizing the Sourcewell purchasing cooperative contract to purchase this software. So recommend that the board approve the purchase.
So I was looking through, sorry, I didn't even give you a time to say, are there any questions? I noticed it looked like the one-time fees was around $96,000, and I'm assuming that's for the training, the tablets, but the recurring fees.
Well, the one-time fees are not quite that high. The recurring fee is $23,000.
Right.
So,
Okay.
So which would make the one-time fee somewhere in the neighborhood of about $80,000. And the bulk of that.
Okay. So the total is 96.
The total, the
Okay.
total is the 96,000, and then I think there's
73.
about $7,300 for travel for them to come in and do
Yes.
some on-site training.
Okay, I understand.
And,
Even better.
And a large part of the one-time cost is for the hardware.
Correct. Okay.
That is for
Sure.
for the tablets that will be installed on the bus.
Okay, and so the next year then it would be more like 23,000
Right.
ongoing
Right.
until we have to replace the tablets or whatever.
Right.
Okay, good deal.
I have a quick question about the safety. So when you mentioned that parents can get an estimated time of their child's arrival at the bus stop, they can't see live.
No.
Okay, so no one can see like a live route except for our
staff.
transportation
Except
staff.
for our
Okay, I
staff.
just wanna make
So
sure
it
about
won't
that.
allow a parent to say, oh, well, I really need to get my kid.
I'm gonna follow this route.
In a hurry, and I'm going to follow the route, or I'm going to go meet the bus at this location because I
Okay.
don't want to wait 30 minutes for them to be at this location. I want to get them early. So no, it doesn't give
So
them.
there's nowhere on the app that anyone could access that app and find
No.
routes live? Okay,
No.
good. Thank
No.
you.
Of course, we publish the routes. you know.
No problem with that.
Right.
Just didn't want it to be like live.
No, it doesn't give them live tracking. No, like I said, it'll give them, you know, that they're estimated to be at this bus stop at 3:45. And that's the extent of it.
I will add that the lifespan of that equipment is 7 to 10 years. So much better than what we anticipated it
Yes.
initially to be. So, and that includes all the installation hardware. And this software has and equipment has the potential of resolving some of the challenges that we've met with transportation, particularly with routes and not being able to train substitute drivers efficiently for new routes. And this will take care of that. And so it really, we have not often invested money on the transportation side. And this, I think, is a very wise investment for long-term outcomes.
Any further discussion or questions? The recommended action is to utilize a Sourcewell contract to purchase student transportation software and related hardware from Tyler Technologies Incorporated for a total first-year cost not to exceed $103,655. Is there a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay, motion carries. Next item?
Second item I have for you is our first budget amendment for fiscal year 27. I'll have to say that this is probably a first to bring you a budget amendment before the fiscal year actually even starts. But something that we wanted to do when we initially approved the budget, but we didn't have the funding to do it, was to, if you'll recall, that we adjusted in the approved budget, we adjusted the pay lane for our school nutrition workers from a pay lane A to a pay lane B. The custodial staff is in the same pay grade, and we are not competitive with surrounding school systems as far as custodial pay, and this will bring us more. So we wanted to do the same thing for custodians. We just couldn't find if you recall, our May estimate for TISA funds went down from what our April estimate was. And so we scrambled at the last little bit to find in our budget a way to balance the budget. Well, it's kind of a roller coaster with the TISA funds this year. The May estimate actually was up $244,400 from the April estimate. So the April estimate dropped about $140,000. The May estimate went up $240,000. One of the things that on our TISA estimate that I'm fairly confident is that the addition of our early graduates. So our students that graduated as juniors at the end of last year, we were able to go back and add those 28 students into our student counts for this school year. And 28 students at $7,500 per student generated about $150,000. And then there were some other statewide adjustments that accounted for about another $80,000. And then there's always some minor adjustments in there. So I'm recommending that out of the $244,000 increase that the estimate went up, I'm only recommending that we increase our estimate in our budget by $200,000. I'm not going to be surprised if when we see our June estimate or our final estimate that number is going to come back down. So I'm leaving a little bit of cushion there. I will say that, and I don't know whether it's the implementation of the new student information system at the state level, which they went away from their EIS system into a system that's called TEDS. I don't know if it's due to that, but there have been I've not seen this much increase and decrease in BEP estimates or TISA estimates. I don't think I've ever seen it. I've always expected increases of $20,000 to $30,000, maybe $40,000, but going up 100 or down 150,000, up 250,000, and So anyway, so the other thing is that recommending that we increase the salary and benefit lines for our custodial staff by about $200,000, which is about what it costs to increase that pay grade from an A to a B, which is a 7.5% increase in that base pay. So they will receive the 1% cost of living increase, a 7.5% increase for moving the pay grade, and plus their step increases, which is 2%. So that's a little over 10.5% pay increase for that group of employees. And our school nutrition workers, we've already approved that. So I'd recommend the approval of budget amendment number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Fry. Any questions? No. No? All right. The recommended action is to approve approve a budget amendment number 1, fiscal year 26-27, as presented. Is there a motion to accept?
Second.
Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Fry.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Dr. True has policy reports.
Good evening. Thank you for the chance to come to you with tonight one policy to review. Wanted to kind of bring this to you now and also provide a little information. Wanting with the schedule, our meeting schedule over the summer, we're in a little bit different situation with not having the work sessions, a little bit out of our normal routine to present things to you at a work session for a vote at the next meeting. Wanted to have an opportunity to talk with you tonight with the hopes that by the time we got to this point, we would have kind of the annual big summer dump of policy based on law changes. That has yet to arrive. So just as a little bit of forewarning, without having a work session coming up, we may need to have a discussion at some point with the anticipation there might be a policy or two that, based on law, needs to be in place before we start the school year. So we may be coming back to you with a request for a called meeting at some point at a work session later on in the summer to be able to get some things approved before the year starts. We'll like I say, hopefully we'd hope to have all that information for you with our discussion tonight. Unfortunately, we don't. There are a lot of things coming out of the legislature last year, so I'm sure there's a lot of work going on to get all those policy, the model policies and all those references pulled together. So we'll come to you with more information on that later. We do tonight have one, it's really a discussion that we had when we came to you with the proposal to purchase Parent Square, and that was to put in policy, kind of as the discussion went on that night, if you'll remember, to put in policy that the expectation is that our employees will use the tools provided to them in communicating with our families. We did some work over the course of last year to put some wording in our employee handbook under a section titled staff-student relationships regarding that wording. That happened several months ago. But since our discussion, when we talked about Parent Square, we do have for you really some wording that we've looked at to put in consultation with the city attorney in the ethics policy, which is 5.611, that basically states to ensure professional, appropriate, and transparent communication, KCS employees shall utilize only district-provided or district-approved communications platforms when communicating directly with students and/or parents and guardians. So that would put your stamp really on the expectation of our staff that they will use the tools that are provided to them rather than texting, using other apps that are outside kind of the scope of us to be able to have record of and protections for when it comes to communicating with families. Want to, at this point, also give out kind of a shout out to Ms. Kench. Mary Beth has been doing yeoman's work when it comes to the rollout of Parent Square, a lot of training, a lot of communicating to get that off the ground. That will continue as the summer moves on, but this will kind of provide your stamp when it comes to the use of that and the expectation that our staff uses those tools.
I'm just curious. I promise I don't mean to be picky or, but when we talk about this communication platform, we're specifically talking about Parent Square.
That is currently, and the way we wrote this, and in talking with Mr. Rowlett, we didn't specifically want to put a brand into the policy so that the policy is a little more evergreen. Should down the line we look to shift, or should there ever be, we don't want to back ourselves into a corner to assume that there might be other situations where we have to look at other platforms, which is why we kind of said district provided or district approved that would come through kind of the superintendent's office. So that's why it was written that way.
So when it says of such communications platforms in the plural form, that is written as if we use this platform now, which could change to a different platform.
If we ever had a cause to.
Not that there are multiple platforms to use at one time.
The district-approved platform right now is Parent Square.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. But as we move forward, we will currently only have one.
Unless there is a
approved.
situation that, again, based on approval through the superintendent's office or designee, which, again, we'll have procedures for that, we would need to consider something in addition or else. But
You see what I'm saying?
I see where you are.
I don't want somebody to say, read that word platforms.
Right.
And assume that there is more than one that they can use.
A way
Is
to
that-
potentially, and I don't believe this would be an issue, but I'll clear this with Mr. Rowlett, would be platform, parentheses S. We could change the syntax of that to clarify that, if that would help.
That seems really, really picky.
Easy to do.
But, whenever I talk to parents, people in public, and we're talking about a one-stop shop communication between students,
Right.
it is one.
It is Parent Square.
Thank you.
We can make that, I can't imagine that, well, I'll run that by him. I can't imagine that that's going to be an issue.
You could always, even in the policy, refer them to where they can find that district-approved communication platform. So that, district, approved communication platform, and then see, I don't know if it's on the website or whatever, so parents can, if they're looking up, okay, well, is band approved or is what approved? So where do I find?
Where do you find that?
The approved platform might be.
Good suggestion. We'll absolutely add that in. Appreciate those suggestions and feedback.
Thank you, Dr. True.
Okay, yes, we'll come to you with this for vote in July, and appreciate your thoughts and
Okay,
feedback.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. Hampton, you have anything to add for us?
Just very briefly, I want to congratulate the 13 state champions that we recognized tonight. That's almost a pinch me number when you can say 13, and that was really just 3 activities. And it just speaks to the storied history of this school system. And we will recognize another state champion in your board meeting in July, Emery Korpstein, who was the men's singles champion, but was unavailable to be with us tonight. So kudos to those individuals, and kudos to Kingsport for providing such a well-rounded extra and co-curricular programs to complement to supplement and complement our academic programs in our district. It's been a very busy summer thus far. I think today is June the 9th, and we haven't even hit the solstice yet, and it has been very busy with our summer camps and summer programming, hiring, budget work. As you can already tell, you have a budget amendment tonight. Facility preparation, all those things. So many people working very hard to make those things happen. We have summer camp program sites at 5 of our schools, and those are all going very well. I know we have 100 students enrolled at Dobyns-Bennett. I don't have the numbers for our elementary, middle school enrollments, but I'll share those with you in an upcoming board update. But last week was our first week of summer camps, and it went incredibly well, and I'm confident that this week is off to a great start as well. We also started the Dobyns-Bennett renovation project last week, which is also off to a remarkable start. Dr. True shared some pictures with me last night of the carpet removal, flooring removal thus far, and it's been so many years in the making, and I could not be happier to see that project has started and is well on its way. And just one more thing that I will add is I'm pleased to announce that we have hired Dr. Kristen Davenport to be the new principal at Robinson Middle School. That was announced through our social media outlets earlier today. Dr. Davenport has been with us since 2023. She has an extensive level of experience at the middle grades level and has most recently served as the assistant principal at Dobyns-Bennett and for the last 3 years. And I'm just thrilled for Dr. Davenport and excited for the opportunities that will await her at Robinson in the coming months and years. So very busy. We will continue to be so. I'll keep you updated through your weekly communication and then, of course, give you another update when we come back together in July.
I just wanted to give a shout out and kudos to, I know countless people, and I won't try to name names, who made the pivot at graduation happen. Unfortunately, I did not get to attend, but I watched the live stream, and it was phenomenal. To have 2 facilities that can house that type of event is really unbelievable. But I know there was a lot of hours, man hours put into. So Dr. Tate, your entire crew, everybody who was responsible for that, it looked very magical, even on the live stream. So still gives me chills when they play that school song the last time. So please pass along our thanks for making that happen. Of course, it didn't rain a drop, but it's just the way it goes. But great job. Graduation was spectacular.
All righty. Looking ahead to the rest of the summer, we have our regular scheduled business meeting July 14th, our July business meeting on the 28th, followed by our August business meeting on the 11th, and the August work session on August 25th. All right. We're adjourned. Roll Tribe.